Hi everyone, today we're going to be answering the question, what even is minimalism? I've seen some confusion around this topic, so I thought it would be best to start at the beginning and define what it means to live minimally. So let's first see what the internet has to say, and then I'll give you my own version. And Wikipedia states that a minimalist lifestyle is a lifestyle adopting minimalism, go figure. There is an effort to use materials which are most essential and in quantities that do not exceed certain limits imposed by the user themselves. There have been many terms evolved from this concept, like minimalist decors, minimalist skincare, minimalist style, minimalist accessories, etc. All such terms signify the usage of only essential products in that niche into one's life. This can help one focus on things that are important in one's life. It can reduce waste. It can also save the time of acquiring the excess materials that may be found unnecessary. A minimalist lifestyle helps to enjoy life with simple things that are available without undue efforts to acquire things that may be bought at great expenses. Minimalism also can lead to less clutter in living spaces. And honestly, that's a pretty good definition, but let me give you my boiled down version. A minimalist lifestyle is about keeping to the essentials more or less and not purchasing in excess. This will mean something different to everyone. A minor benefit is your space might be easier to keep clean, tidy, and organized, but the main benefit, the big goal, is to spend more personal power, whether that be money, time, effort, or energy, on what is truly important in your life. So that's it. That's my simplified version of what minimalism means, but I'd like to dive a little bit further. And I even noticed that these definitions, and certainly the way that I think about minimalism, is I tend to view it more about physical items. And the truth is there's a lot of non-physical items that can feel like a heavy weight on our shoulders as well. The one that springs to mind always for me is digital clutter. So for me personally, it's important to keep a simplified home, but it's also important to keep, for instance, a simplified phone and not have too many apps or unnecessary software running in the background. And another thing I wanted to mention is adopting a minimalist lifestyle does not necessarily mean that you're going to be adopting a minimal aesthetic. The minimalist aesthetic tends to be a pretty neutral color palette, but you can be like a full-on minimalist and have bright, bold, beautiful colors, whether that's in your home decor or your clothing. And then on the flip side, someone can adopt a minimalist aesthetic, but not necessarily be a minimalist. One example that I think of is when it comes to your wardrobe, maybe having like a neutral palette, clean lines, a classic look, but they could have many more garments than they would deem to be essential in their own lives. Now, of course, sometimes these worlds converge. I just happen to be someone who enjoys a minimal aesthetic and considers themselves a minimalist, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. They are certainly two different things. And speaking about aesthetics at large, I said in my definition that a minimalist lifestyle would keep to the essentials more or less. I said that for a specific reason, and that's because I wholeheartedly believe that we should leave room for beauty. And sometimes beauty comes in the essentials, and that's wonderful, but sometimes they don't. For instance, the jewelry that I'm wearing currently. These are not essential, they're not essential to me, but they're absolutely beautiful and they mean a lot to me. Same thing with artwork. You could say that artwork isn't an essential, but I have many artwork pieces that I really, really love and cherish. So I do think there is space in this minimalist sphere to leave a little room for beauty. And of course, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, so that's whatever is beautiful to you. Okay, and next, I want to talk about some markers that you could be misinterpreting what a minimalist lifestyle is. And before you think that I'm sitting here on my high horse, I have been guilty of all of these, and in some cases I'm still working through some of these thoughts and feelings. So number one, an indicator that you could be a little misguided when it comes to minimalism is you're tending to judge people who have a lot more items than you. The second thing that could indicate that you're off track is minimalism is a game and nothingness is the goal. I call this the endless pursuit of nothingness, and you're kind of just chasing this unattainable goal because we all do need some stuff in our lives. And then finally, staying fixated on material items. For instance, you have a perfectly fine blush, but you are in a constant hunt, a constant search for the perfect blush, and it's still, these physical items are still taking up, or non-physical, are still taking up a lot of your mental energy, your personal power. And in that instance, at least for me, I was still so focused on this stuff. In some ways, I was actually still quite materialistic. So those are 3 indicators that could let you know that you're slightly off track when it comes to living a minimalist lifestyle. But again, I've been there before, and it doesn't mean you can't be somewhere along your way. I just wanted to share some of the mental traps, I guess, that I fell into personally throughout the many years that I have been a minimalist. Okay, and on the flip side, and the most important thing, some markers that you could really be on the right path. So a small marker could be your life looks a little different. Maybe you've done some decluttering, maybe you've just done some simplifying, and your spaces could start to look a little different. But the big marker is that your life starts feeling different. It's almost like a weight is lifted off your shoulders. There's more space, literally and figuratively, just to take a deep breath. And in some cases, it can allow you to focus on what is truly important in your life. You know, the goal of minimalism is not to have 4 makeup items or a perfectly curated, extremely minimal home. It truly is to change your life. It's to make you feel lighter. And the amount of items and the type of items is going to look so different for everyone. So that's why I say in most of my videos, this might not work for everyone. It's just meant to give ideas. Maybe you can only pull 1 or 2 things that, you can really relate to in a certain video on my channel. And that is totally okay, because everyone's version of living a more intentional life and at different stages of their life is going to look so different. So my friends, those are the basics. That is minimalism, or at least what it looks like through my purview. And I do hope that this helped, because when I was starting my minimalist journey, I didn't really think of it as a lifestyle. I thought of it more as I had to have a specific number of things. And again, sometimes that's a great strategy for someone as a minimalist. So I'm not knocking that, right? I do that from time to time with certain collections of mine. But to me, that's not the spirit of minimalism. The spirit of minimalism is changing your life, is having that weight lifted. So I wanted to express that here on my channel and just go back to the basics. So as always, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did happen to like it, give it a like. If you like what I'm producing on this content in general, please consider subscribing. And thank you for taking the time to be here. I hope to catch you in my next minimalism video. Okay, bye for now, everyone. Bye.